Hello, Bison fans. Welcome back to another episode of the Charging Ahead podcast. I'm delighted to be joined by new D-man this season, Thomas Relf. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, buddy. How's your summer been going? You
Yeah,
getting a bit of break?
yeah, no, it's definitely nice to be away from a rink for a little bit. But yeah, now that everything is like signed and I'm ready with the Bison, it's kind of like, right, when's the season starting? How many more weeks have we got? But for the time being, I'm enjoying my time away from it so that I'll be ready to go in September.
Yeah, of course. Because you were saying on the Macca's podcast, obviously the deal was done really early in the off season. So you were saying you're quite chilled out this year. Obviously, it's all done. You know where you're going into the new season. So it must feel nice for you. So we'll just go from that sort of. How did the move come around to Basingstoke?
Yeah, so obviously playing with Norks last year. At the end of the year, you're always asking people like, oh, like what do you want to do? Where are you gonna go? And like with Basingstoke coming back in, it was almost like, Norks, you're going back to Basingstoke, right? Like everyone knows it's a secret that's not a secret anymore. So yeah, I was kind of just speaking to Norks, and then he was like, oh, like would you be interested in like moving and coming to Basingstoke? I was like, yeah, like obviously I'll hear out what you guys have to offer. So then Steve got in contact with me, and I was just speaking to Steve really about like what Basingstoke would look like and what a move would look like for me. And the more and more I spoke to both Norks and Steve and hearing about Basingstoke, it was more of a obvious answer for me and what I
Hmm.
wanted to do and challenge myself. So I kind of didn't anticipate a move, and I didn't think I was going to be moving away from the Raiders. But when that option came to me, I was like, okay, yeah, I think this is going to be a good move for me. And everything I've heard about Basingstoke since I've signed has only been like good news. Like I've had ex-players reach out once I've been like announced. So like Aaron Connolly messaged me being like, you're gonna love Basingstoke," and I've like obviously known him since we played together in Raiders, and like his word means a lot. So I'm really looking forward to playing in Basingstoke now.
Yeah, I mean Aaron Conley, he's a legend in Basingstoke. He's obviously been on the Zamboni for the past however many years. Um,
I'm hoping that Zamboni is still there this year. That would be great to see Aaron
yeah,
again.
hopefully it's not going to be on the ice. Hopefully it's framed up somewhere.
Yeah,
Hopefully we get a new one for the new season. But it's good to hear that sort of your intentions weren't always Basingstoke, but we've managed to sort of persuade you in that sort of way. You've obviously played up and down the league. You've played in Sheffield. You played in Romford for a while. You started playing with the Bees as well. And so, sort of coming into Basingstoke as an opposition player, how does it sort of affect your game? Being like obviously getting heckled by the Bison fans.
yeah. I remember when I was just starting with the Bees, and it was like the rink at full capacity. It was awful. You hated going to Basingstoke because it's a big rink, and with the fans on the smaller stand like right above you, you hated being in that rink and making mistakes. So the good news is obviously the rink should be back to full capacity, and we should have that atmosphere back, and that's really gonna like help us and play into our advantage. So that's what I'm looking forward to playing with the Bison. But even when it was like a half rink and like you had to go into like a smaller crowd, the fans are so passionate where they love the Bison. They will support them through thick and thin. And that really does not play well for an opposing player. So I used to hate going it. I like really did not go there being like, right, this is going to be an easy game. And I think that's what we're going to try and like replicate come September and next season.
Yeah, so most recently, obviously Romford. I'm going to Romford again. They've got a passionate fan base. Obviously, they those fans have been through it all as well. How does it sort of? I would sort of say Basingstoke fan base is also just as passionate. So how does that sort of affect your game as a player behind, like obviously playing in front of that crowd? So now you're on the
Yeah.
Bison side of it. So how does it feel? How does it change your game having that crowd behind you?
Yeah, no, it'll be great. Like whenever you have a passionate fan base behind you, it really just gives you that extra little bit that you need at a certain point. And like I say, being in good teams of like the Raiders where we've made cup finals and like playoff finals, when you hear a fan base behind you, it really spurs you on. And like when you're at the third period with like 5 minutes to go and you're like, right, I'm a little bit tired, but they're like, right, there's only one more goal, we're gonna make all the noise. Like it's like, okay, like I get nervous again. I'm gonna get like anxious again to play well. So no, it's gonna be great, like having the Bison, and I always remember like the little drummers in the corner of the rink as well. So it's going to be loud in that barn, and it's going to be like when we first come back out, like the first game, I think it's going to be crazy, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think the boys will be energized by it, and I think we'll produce some good games.
Yeah, that first game is definitely going to be a belter of a game. So definitely make sure you can get down there if you can. You sort of said it there. You said about playoffs and obviously cup finals last season. So you've been in that environment of obviously being in a final. You've sort of had that around the room. Basingstoke's obviously a team that's had a history of winning cups, and we had a good stint of time when we were obviously winning the leagues and we were winning playoffs. So what are you going to sort of bring to this team to try and get silverware back into Basingstoke now you sort of know how it feels?
Yeah, no, I think like everyone's message of like everyone that signed up and Steve and obviously now Jeff, the message has been so far, we're not coming in just to make up numbers, and we're not gonna just go through the first year and be like, okay, we'll just see what happens. We know we want to make playoffs. We know we want to like achieve good results. And I think obviously I've not had a ton of experience in like commentary every year and playoff finals every year, but even the one or two games with the Raiders and like winning the league with the Steel Dogs, um, it's it's vital like experience that I have, and hopefully like I can utilize that with other experience of other players, and it will all kind of like feed into that atmosphere and that ethos that we'll build with the team. So no, I'm coming in like just to obviously play my part, and then if I can help like with some leadership, that's great, and I'm more than happy to kind of chip in with that.
Yeah, so for obviously fans that sort of maybe don't know your game, what sort of game are you going to bring to the blue line in Basingstoke, and sort of how are we sort of working on yourself in the summer going into next season?
Yeah, and I like to think of myself like as a defender that will take care of their own end first, and like they are like I will protect my net at all costs, and I'll protect the blue line at all costs. But then I like to think that I have a little bit of an offensive side as well. Last year for me wasn't like the best in my terms of my performance. So like I'm hoping to get back to that and hoping to get back to like what I'm used to. So that's kind of my goal and everything that I'm training for now and getting ready for September. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be a person that will like try and block a shot with their face if needed. Like I'm happy to kind of put my body in the way and like be sliding about all over the ice. But yeah, I'll definitely be doing that happily first and foremost, and then trying to join the rush and trying to get some points on the other end.
Yeah, blocking the shots like that Frankie backdoor shot that you were talking about in the other podcast.
Yeah, yeah. It's not the smartest move or like the best move in the moment, but like looking back, it's just like okay, that was quite good. So I'll let like we were gonna have like some good forwards that can score goals, and I know my job is not to obviously go up and score 40 goals. So if I can get 30 block shots in like a prime position, that's great. I'll happily take that stat and then just give the puck to like Milts or the imports. It'll be great.
Yeah, I mean the fans will definitely appreciate a good block shot. Everyone
Yeah,
loves a
no,
block shot.
that's good. I'll produce a few of them, I think.
So you spoke about Jeff there as well. Have you managed to speak to Jeff at all, or is it sort of too early in the summer to sort of try and get in contact with him about like playing style and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I haven't personally spoke to him yet, but obviously, like I think it was a case of everyone saw he was announced and he got announced into like our little WhatsApp group, and then obviously a lot of people were messaging him. So I'm like kind of letting him settle in. Like I don't want to bombard him and have everyone on him being like, "Hey, this is who I am" and everything. But no, I'll speak to him before the summer or before September for sure. But he's still got a bit of a job to do in terms of rounding out the roster and getting things ready for September. So I didn't want to be like, "Hey, this is who I am. You have to deal with me straight away." I'll get in touch with him when it's a bit later in the summer. But it'll be good to get to know him, and hopefully we can get a good relationship and a good team going.
Yeah, so keeping on the sort of topic of coaches, obviously you played with Adam Nystrom, he was a player coach, and obviously Jeff is coming in as a bench coach. Do you have a sort of do you prefer playing with a player coach, or does it not really affect you sort of with the coaches on the bench or on the ice?
Yeah, no, obviously, like a player coach and a bench coach, that do they do have their pros and cons. Obviously, the good thing with Jeff is that he can see the entire game and like he'll be able to see it from the bench the entire time. Obviously, Leish is a great coach, great player, but obviously he has to deal with playing as well. So it was always tough where it's like, right, we're on a shift together. I saw something and it's like, right, what about this? I'm like, oh yeah, well, you've just come from a shift as well. You have to think about how you played and how you're gonna take the game as well. But no, I think Jeff will bring a lot of character and a lot of knowledge to this team, and it'll be good to have him on the bench. And there'll be a lot of like good conversations of being like, right, you saw it from a different vantage point of me. How do you think I played that, or how do you think the team can move past this? So I'm excited to have like the bench coach and like Jeff there full time. Yeah, I think he'll do some good work for Bison.
Yeah, and he was obviously announced as well that the reason Steve sort of was veering towards him is because he's got a very good knowledge of sort of instat, which is coming into this league is sort of a thing that most coaches are going by now. Do you
Mhm.
feel do you feel like not only you have the coach obviously talking to you, but you have the advantage of having a guy that knows instat very well inside and out? Does that sort of help your game as well?
Yeah, like Instat is very valuable and it gives us a lot of indications as to how we've been playing and pair it with the video, you can see it in real time. So I think the knowledge he'll bring from that, it'll make our pre-scout better, which will mean we're better prepared going into a weekend. And then after a weekend, he'll give us like a little bit of an insight as to how we did and break things down into like a smaller detail. And
Yeah.
like Leisha was very good at it as well. So like if Jeff is going to be like as good or better, it's only going to help me because I love on a Monday or Tuesday morning just watching all my shifts back and being like, right, let's break that everything down. So it would be good to kind of have his little presentations as to how he sees the game and pair it with the video and the stats. It'll be fun for me just to kind of be like, right, what goodies has he got this week?
Well, yeah, I'm definitely excited to sort of see what he brings to the team and sort of what sort of style we can play. Obviously, he's been coaching in the youth sports a lot, and which is a very defensive league. So
Mhm.
hopefully, he probably should be sort of looking at yourself and the other D men to sort of try and keep that defensive core really sharp and sort of defend the goalie. Because at the end of the day, if you can keep the puck out of your own net, it makes the life easier for the forwards, doesn't it? So,
Yeah,
um,
and there's this I can't remember it, but there's this famous phrase that says defense wins championships or something. But no, I think he'll bring a lot of knowledge on both sides of the puck. But yeah, I think the main thing for a new team is to kind of get your defensive structure and know how you're going to play in your own end, and then you build from that and you let your creative offensive players just get the puck and move up the ice. So if we can build that solid base at the back first, I think it's really going to help us.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I'm sure the fans are excited. I'm excited myself. The players are excited. It's going to be really exciting to see what happens this off season, going into obviously the new season of the new era of Basingstoke. So we're just going to finish off with a question of what have you got as a message for the Bison fans?
Yeah, no, I'm like, as I've hopefully indicated during this interview, like I'm really excited to come play in Basingstoke in September, and I think we will have a competitive team from the offset and throughout the season. So I think pack the rink, get some loud drums, whatever you need to really get the passion back into that building, and yeah, I think we'll have a good season from September, and yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting you all and seeing you all in the rink.
Well, there you go. You've heard it from Tom himself. Pack the rink, first game in September. Get down to the Basingstoke ice rink. Watch the Bison play again. Just keep an eye on socials throughout the off season. A lot of news is going to be coming out. A lot of exciting stuff's going to be coming your way. So yeah, just keep an eye out, and we'll see you all in September.